Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the place to be each and every Sunday night. Where tonight on Top Split TV, of course, we're bringing you round 6, season 22 of Sunday Night Lights from Interlagos in Brazil. I'm your host, Alex McKellar, and joining me, as always, is the chaotic one himself, Mr. Corey Steinhauser. Corey, bumper field, ready to go for another massive night of Skippy racing, mate.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. It's a 4.4K soft here tonight, which is amazing. Still below our average for the season, but really good nonetheless. But there is a couple of concerns here with this race this week. One very notably being it's a little bit foggy out there, so drivers are going to have that little bit of an extra challenge here tonight.
Yeah, mate, I've done some racing here this week in the foggy sessions. I'll tell you what, they make it really difficult because you get. It actually makes it really hard to see your markers, both braking, apex, and all the rest of it, and it's really tough. But fortunately, the cameras are showing us good pictures as we crack on for another week. Now, just checking our field, 4,400 odd strength of field, as we said. Manu Luqueta for Mivano, he's back as the number 1 plated car here tonight. Number 2, Julian O'Fray joins us again from Redface Racing. Naoya Nagai-san, he's back from Japan. Expect him to be up near the front in quali once again. Let's hope he gets a better run of luck, because he's had some shocking luck so far this season. Giuseppe Tellini is the 4-plated car here tonight from Italy, and Loris Amadio from Italy. I tell you, we're getting some Italian drivers lately. It's nearly, I'll tell you what, there's a third of the field here nearly tonight that's Italian. And but Amadio, he's making his debut here tonight, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And it's great to see that we're getting such great Italian presence. I'm pretty sure that is all the work of Lucetta and Cantor, getting the Italian skippy community interested in the race. But also another new name that I don't have very much experience with, Xavi Ross. It's a 6-plated car from Iberia. Hopefully, looking for some good things there. We also got Adam Miles from the UK and I Club as a 7-plated car. Previously mentioned Enzo Cantor coming from 8th, the Italian driver. Daniel Blanco, who has been improving so much so far this season from Iberia, as the 9-plated car. And Kawabe-san from Japan as the 10-plated car, Alex.
Interesting to see how Kawabe-san goes this week, starting as the 10th seeded driver. Of course, he's pushing for his consistency in getting in the top 10 finishes. And we spoke about the likes of Lucetta and Cantor bringing the Italian community together. It's the likes of Kawabe and Hanada-san, who's not here tonight, unfortunately. But those two in particular are driving the resurgence in Japanese sim racing in the Skip Barber series and here on a Sunday night with their content and their contributions to the community. They've got their own little Japanese racing league going as well in the skips. So congrats to Kawabe-san, Toshimasa Hanada, and of course the likes of Nagai-san, who we mentioned before, also starting to build sim racing in Japan, particularly in the Skip Barbers, which we love, Corey.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right, Alex. And the more people we can get interested in Skippy racing, especially on the Sunday nights, the bigger chance that we're going to get even bigger and better softs and absolutely cracking racing, which is always an absolute pleasure to see. But we do have everyone's first laps in at the moment, or at least everyone who's going to complete first laps for the moment. And Zabi Ross, as the 6-plated car, is currently put in P1, the only driver so far in the 1 minute 50 bracket, Alex.
Tell you what, 150 around here is pretty decent, particularly in quali, let me tell you. On your first lap, no less, as well. We just had a look at Guidi, Ludwig Guidi. He's back for another crack. And slowly but surely creeping up the seeding here on a Sunday night. Guidi, of course, an old school Skippy driver, coming around for what I think is going to be his, no, it's just his first lap. No, it was his second. I beg your pardon. And look at that, straight up into P3. Camareri, Nagai, there you go, Nagai-san jumping up. He's provisionally on pole with not much left to travel round. I'm just trying to see if there's anyone left. Yeah, Kawabe-san, he's on his second. And there's a face, Sanabal. Donald Sanabal from ANZ. He's actually a Kiwi driver. I had a chat to him during the week, and in fact earlier tonight. Great to see another ANZ driver in the top split. As we're watching on old Kawabe-san, we might hop on board for the final stages of his second quality lap. Grabs every bit of that curbing on the outside of the final corner there at 13, although these little round bits here count as corners apparently. We're at 14 now before up in a sec we'll go through 15, although really it's flat once you go through 13, and we'll call that the final corner here tonight because that's where it really counts, because you're flat there. You're about 184, 185 by the time you cross the line there. Kawabe-san, where's he got himself up to? Well, actually, why don't we just go check the grid and we'll find out, eh? So, of course, we're here at Interlagos around 6 of season 22 of Sunday Night Lights. Once again, Naoya Nagai-san grabbing pole here with a 150.5. Xavi Ross from Iberia, or his racing team. He's back in action. I think we've seen him before, but I tell you what, it's great to have an Iberian back in the field. We've only had a few lately. Looks like we've got a few more in here tonight. He's starting from second. Daniele Camerieri, the Italian driver, has been coming somewhat of a regular this season. He's out of third. Ludwig Guidi, he's out of fourth here tonight, the 11-plated car. Manu Lucchetta returns from Movano Sim Racing out of fifth, of course, last season's champion, with his team, or his countryman, Loris Amadio, making his debut, starting from 6th tonight. Giuseppe Tellini from Italy, he's out of 7th. Julian O'Fray for Red Face Racing out of 8th. Expect him to have a crack and move a bit forward from there. Movano Sim Racing's Enzo Cantor, the second Movano racer in there tonight. He's starting out of 9th. Alexis Vico from Across Competition out of 10th. Daniele Forgiarini from Italy out of 11th. Daniele Blanco from Iberia out of 12th. If I could just find the right button. 13th tonight is Håkon Grebstedt from Speedy Snails. Not the better quality he was hoping for. Russell Clark for Team Milo, the ANZ driver. Out of 14th, Adam Miles from UK&I. Out of 15th, Gael Kawabe-san from Japan. Out of 16th, Donald Sabanal. Oh, got it wrong, Donald. I'll try and get it right next time, mate. From ANZ out of 17th. Samuel Collins from ANZ out of 18th. Jack Atkinson out of 19th tonight. And that's your grid, Corey.
Well, let's hope that they can get a cracking race going on here, Alex. As red light's been red and green light's been go, we are underway for this slightly foggy affair, and already it seems that the racing action is starting to heat up as from the outside to the inside goes that black car of Xavi Ross, trying to take the lead away from Nagai. And it looks like Nagai is going to be triumphing through the first section of corners there, through the centre S's, Alex.
Yeah, great to see Nagai up front after last week having his challenges, no doubt. As they come down to this crucial turn 4, you see a lot of moves done here. And can I tell you, this track, whoa, as we see Camerieri get a bit of a nudge on the outside, the sun playing havoc with the cameras here tonight. We'll try and get some better angles to keep the glare out of our eyes as the fog perhaps clearing. This track can really tell a story as we traverse its corners, particularly on the infield section.
Well, we got one around towards the back, Alex. The 14 of Forgarini has gone around going into turn 5.
Yeah, he's around and joining at the rear of the field. Looked like he's had a bit of rear contact there with the rear wing bent. And there we go. We're back up the front now, and these guys are cracking on. And like I was trying to say, this midsection in particular can tell a real story as the lap unfolds, because out of turn 4, you can really set up really for an overtake into turn 11, depending on how the person you're racing with goes, Corey.
Yeah, Alex, and the most important part of the track, I do believe, is that final corner of turn 13, or at least the one that we dubbed the final corner, because, as you said, you're absolutely flat. As soon as you come out of that corner all the way through to turn 1 and the start of the centre S's, and you'll see a lot of big drafty battles going on there, as the battle for the lead is still on between Nuggy and Ross. And it looks like Ross might be triumphant this time, going up the inside of Navi and getting the move made before the exit of turn 1. But then they get the second little drafting zone here for the second straightaway coming out of turn 3, Alex.
Yeah, that's right. Down to turn 4 this time round, and that's where the moves can be done early on, and then completed, as I said, all the way down to turn 11, depending on how things turn out. Yes, and we are trying to deal with the fog here tonight, and that's playing a bit of havoc with some of the camera angles. Won't be our finest work tonight, but we'll plough on through. Hopefully the drivers will put on enough for show that we can see past that here tonight as we head up the hill into 6 and 7. Very exciting part of the circuit here, sweeping a double right-hander here through 6 and 7 down into 8, which is a really key passing opportunity as well. One thing about skips around here, Corey, is you can get passes done nearly... big pile up!
Big pile up.
Oh, that's massive.
Oh, sorry, Alex, that was in the back. That was all started by Amadio getting sideways there towards the back of the pack, and everyone else absolutely nowhere to go, just started piling into him. That's taken out a few really good contenders, including one Enzo Cantor.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to catch that one again, but I'm just struggling to find the right point because it's only telling me that one person crashed. Nah, I can't find it. I'll have to catch it at the end. We'll go back up front, but that's really dissipated what was a massive field, a line of cars there at the front. And we've got Luqueta sitting in fourth now, with Nagai still leading this, and a 4 wide they go behind into turn 1. Can they make it work? Oh, big lock up from O'Fray into turn 1, side by side, Grebstad and Miles by the looks. They're still... Oh, did he get a bit of a hip and shoulder there? And they're gonna try and make it 3 wide with Blanco coming up the inside of Grebstad this time round. They're gonna get it done into turn 4. Oh, I tell you what, it's a wide track through there, and they're using every bit. Oh, that looks like Miles into Blanco. They managed to stay alive, and Miles loses the rear, and he's gone. He's gone from there, and I'll tell you what, action aplenty already, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. When it comes to the Skippy racing, the action definitely does not stop. And Miles now dropping down to 13th, which negates any kind of a good run that he was hoping to have here. But it looks like he's going to just clip onto the back of that pack now, following Russell Clark, who has been promoted up into 12th. And back up at the front of the pack, we got Nuggy back in the lead over Ross. Chitty still sitting there in third, just biding this time with Luqueta. They're just behind him in fourth, Alex.
Yeah, that's it, Corey. Great to see Nagai up there. Of course, he got rear-ended last week. That took him out. We've got Xavi Ross, who I'm sure is arose by another name. But we see, oh, Nagai gets very wide. Probably got on the power a bit early out of the final corner. That sent him wide. And that's brought Ross right back into it with Geedy now tucked right in behind. Notice he's wearing the Mivano Sim Racing livery here tonight. So 2 Mivano races in there in Geedy and Luqueta this time round as we see Ross move to the outside. We've got Nagai San coming up the inside of turn 1 into the braking zone. They're going to go side by side. It's a lot of fun to do this. It's not the quickest way around, but there again they've got something close to a 3.5 second gap as Nagai forces all the inside of the second apex, or the exit I should say, the second part of the centre S is there as they head down the first straight here. On the run into turn 4. They're going to go 3 wide again. Can they get it done? We've got Nagai up the inside. We've got Luqueta going around the outside. And here's the story that can be told, because they can go side by side up here through 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way through to 11. I doubt they'll do it 3 wide, but you've got 2 Mivano races up the inside through 6 this time as Geedy kicks out to grab the outside line there. You'll see Luqueta go through, but can Ross follow him? Because that's the problem you do with going 2 by 2 through there. You leave the inside open, and Ross shoving the nose up the inside of 8 there, coming through 9. The Mivano boys seem to be winning out, but Ross will come up the inside on their run into 11. No. Across goes Geedy to make sure that he doesn't have that look through there, Corey, and that's the kind of story a lap around this track can tell.
That's right, Alex. The lead can change at the flip of a coin, and what an incredible sequence of events that was. Both Nirvana drivers there taking it three wide to get into the first and second positions. I know Lucetta's got big brakes on that little Skippy, but it looks like he's been teaching GD how to have some big brakes on his one as well, because that was amazing, that little sequence of events, and making it stick around the outside of turn, what was that, seven or eight? Eight. And, holding it in there and making sure that he could get around Ross is no mean feat. But it looks like now Judy's going to go up the inside of Lucetta going into turn one. Got Ross on the outside, three wide. Oh, big lock up there from Judy. And, oh, a little bit of netcode contact there. And Nagai back up into second place now, but the battle's still on for third, Alex.
How did they get through there? Giddy locked up, went way, shot past his braking zone there, and he saw Camareri. He was sweeping inside and outside cars. I don't know how they didn't make contact, but look at the pack behind them. All that stuffing around and racing has led this monster pack. Look at this monstrous pack behind them of another 6 or 7 cars, all chasing down the top 5. We're almost back to a pack of 13 cars there, Corey.
Oh, I think it's pretty safe to say we do have a 13 pack of cars going on here, Alex. That second pack was being led by Blanco. Now he is right on the tail of Kamamiri. And now the pack is complete. It's all 13 of the top rated drivers here currently. And, they're putting on a show for us, Alex. It's going to be interesting to see how they now navigate the final straight going into turn one with being in such a big pack of cars.
I tell you what, not only is a big pack of cars, but it was 2x2 through the infield all throughout. I tell you what, those guys are better be careful because you got O'Fray on the front of it there. But they, if they stuff around too much, get too excited about trying to get forward in that pack once they rejoin, they might lose them again. Because look, it's out to what's that about? 8, 9, nearly 9/10 by the time you hit O'Fray behind Blanco, who's the last car on that front pack. He's managed to stay there after it rejoined. He wouldn't want to lose them again. Oh, but 2x2 they go through the front. No chance of getting away this time because that was nearly 3 wide. Then you've got Ross still coming up the inside. Nagai still trying to hold up the inside. The exit of turn 3 now onto this front straight. And you've tucked in behind Nagai-san there. You got Geedy still, and it's almost Lucetta's opportunity to get away as they go 3 wide once again into turn 4. You got Geedy coming out the inside of Nagai. They've gone back to 2x2 or 3 as Camareri pokes his nose up at the 2 black cars of Blanco and Nagai. Blanco putting his authority on this front pack once he's rejoined and getting his way all the way up to third, Corey.
Yeah, that was definitely a very risky move there by Blanco. Shoved it up there in the last minute. And also, we got Alfred starting to make moves now that the pack has properly caught up. And he's trying to make a move for 5th on Nagai. And it looks like he's going to try and hold around the outside here. He's going to give him the inside for the next corner, and he is going to get that move made and hopefully make it stick here, Alex.
Yeah, he's got.
Oh, there's a spinner in the background.
Kawabe-san's gone. I don't know if he got touched in the rear there or what, but the rear of the car stepped out, and he'll be lucky to hang on to this pack, but certainly relegated back down to 13th. That's how big this pack is, as Grebstad and Atkinson trade places on the approach to the final corner there. Great to see Clark on the tail end, inside the top 12 and inside the front pack at the moment, although side by side Grebstad and Atkinson look like they might have be at risk of losing that front pack, but this time round we've got Geedy and Lucetta, the 2 Mivano boys. They're looking to run away with it if they can, with Ross and Blanco, the 2 black cars side by side in turn 1. No, Blanco pulls in behind Ross, and Nagai-san, he's been relegated back to 5th. Mind you, he's done well because on that straight he got past O'Fray because he was relegated back to 6th from one time leading the race, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. But hopefully Nagai can use the draft to his advantage here, maybe try and make some more positions up again. But it's going to be hard because now up the inside goes Alfray, and will he get the move made here? We'll wait and see. And he will make the move, make it cleanly, but off very wide on the track there was Ross. and that has allowed Giddy a little bit of a reprieve here. Gap for them is now out to about 7 tenths of a second, but a little bit of that was clawed back before they got into turn 5, Alex, as the draft took effect.
Yeah, interestingly, there's a balance there between using all the track width and going beyond the track limits on exit there and actually covering too much track distance. So, interesting to see how the different guys approach it. Sometimes taking a strategic incident point there and incurring a minor wrath of the stewards. As we see this battle continue between Nagai and O'Fray. Nagai, again, one-time leader of this race, now probably battling a little bit hard in the infield. I don't know if he's got the pace on O'Fray or not. He's damn quick in these cars, but through the midsection there, sometimes you're better to wait your time for risk of losing what is now out to a dead set of 1 second gap. It might be a battle in four for this one at this stage, Corey, with the two Movano boys leading the two black cars of Ross and Blanco.
Yeah, and those two Movano boys, they're not going to give up the first two positions easily. In fact, Giddy might be playing a little bit of rear gunner here as we hit the halfway mark of the race. The Ketter is still going to be leading the way, but Giddy almost getting up on his inside there going into turn 1, and very close quarters action. We'll see how it goes when they come out of turn 3 here, Alex.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it was Vico, Alex Estapia Vico made the big move to jump 3 places by the looks to get on the front of Nagai and O'Fray with Camareri now. Oh, Nagai cuts to the left bend, back to the right. Stewards will want to have a look at that. That's pretty close racing there. 2 by 2 behind with O'Fray and Camareri now with it is Vico on the front of this secondary pack now. And again, Nagai relegated. Oh, 3 wide into turn 6 now with Blanco. No, it's Ross going up the inside of Guidi. Blanco tucked in behind. It's a Movano sandwich there. The two black cars sandwiching the 11-plated Ludwig Guidi as Lucetta trying to run away with this one. I'll tell you what, don't know where to look. There's action everywhere, Corey.
And that's just one of the great gems that makes Interlagos such a perfect track for skippies. I mean, we know it from Formula One, but watching the skippies rip around here is absolutely fantastic as they continue on now towards the final corner, the spiritual final corner. And it's still going to be Lucetta leading the way with about 7/8 of a second of a gap over Ross at the moment. But Guidi will be looking at trying to take that second place back. And Blanco, we know, can be very aggressive when he's this close to the front. So it'll be interesting to see whether he's going to try and make a move here going into turn 1, or whether he's just going to sit back there for now in fourth and just try and play devil's advocate and wait for someone to make a mistake at the front, Alex.
Yeah, Mvano leading there. Lucetta, he's given Guidi some draft and they've pulled in line astern pretty comfortably, although Lucetta went very deep there. Oh, big lock up from O'Fray. Camareri up the inside there, all over the curves, getting the run on Vico, but it's Nagai who comes out in front of that pack, and once again, the battling has drawn in some more cars there. We've got Miles, Atkinson, Grebstad and Clark now ranging up. 3 wide you've got. Oh, I've gone too far. 3 wide with Nagai going up the inside of O'Fray into turn 4. Camareri now. Oh, Nagai. Got to stick to the one move, buddy. Although that rear car showing a little bit of, it's a little bit worse for wear, perhaps after one too many moves on the straights, but up the inside goes Vico, and that's where you can get it done. Turn 6 setting you up for the overtake into 8 this time round, and gets it done. Can he come across? No. Liking to follow suit is Miles up the inside of Nagai trying to get it done. Did he get it done? Not this time round. I'll tell you what, I'm going to be tired tonight after this one, Corey. I haven't even been out there.
Yeah, Alex, I mean, it's some very close, hard, intense racing. This is what we love to see. And as one of my favorite Speedway commentators says, I hope you've got a hold of your heart pills, because this is definitely one that's going to be sending a few pulses through the roof as Alfrey leading this second pack now comes out onto the main straight. Let's see what he can do to try and defend his position here. He's got Tapia Vico behind him, staying all the way to the inside of the track. And there's sometimes a little thing you can do with lesser experienced drivers where you can actually tempt them into hitting the end of the pit wall there. But I digress from actions like that as they go 3 wide now, and it looks like Alfrey almost a big loser out of that. Yep, big loser out of that one, dropping down 2 positions as Nagai and Vico get around him, and almost Camariri getting up there as well. But it looks like he has just lost out big time to Miles and Atkinson as the action is starting to heat up. Alex, we've got 4 laps left to run in this race.
I don't know. My heart can take it, mate. If you got any of those heart pills, these guys are putting on some kind of race. 2 wide into so many of the corners, 3 wide into some. And yet we've seen remarkably, other than the big one before, which most seem to have driven away from, if I'm honest, we haven't seen too much of carnage, which really speaks to the quality of the effort the guys are putting in here tonight. As Nagai's forced very wide through 6 there, coming out second best through 7, and in the braking zone now. Oh, up the inside of Nagai goes Miles by the looks. Nagai coming back. Will get it done. Oh, how do they? They're just waiting their turn to get back in the line by the looks of it. As we jump back up front, we've got Geedy leading from Ross in a different kind of Movano sandwich now. As we see Geedy on the front with, as I said, Ross, then Lucetta and Blanco in this front 4 pack. We've got 2 Movano races, 2 black liveried cars in Ross and Blanco. Then we've got Vico leading that secondary pack. He's almost got away from O'Fray there with Miles, Nagai and Atkinson. Grebstad. Camareri's dropped like a stone in that pack, and Russell Clark sitting there on the back in the top 12 and the last of the Sunday Night Lights points. These guys are going to start to get really racy as the laps start to count down. There'll be 3 laps to go as they cross the line this time round. Corey, you going to pick me a winner?
Oh, I don't think I can, Alex. The action has been too close to call for this front group. Like, Lucetta actually crossed the line, not the lap just completed, but the lap before him first. And by the time they got through the 4th corner, he was back in 3rd. So it's going to be hard to pick a winner out of these guys.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It is. They kind of look like they're settling down and just trying to shuffle the deck a little bit in their favours. We see Blanco make the move up the inside of... who's that? That's Lucetta this time round. And... they've got it done. No risk there. Vico is still leading that secondary pack there. A bit more line of stern. It's probably a bit late for that sort of line of stern stuff with the front 4 gone. But this secondary pack, I'm sure there's more of a story to be told there as they're playing very good line of stern soldiers here with about 2.5 to go. Like I said, I expect to see more action there as we jump back up front. We've got Ross leading this race once again with Geedy, Blanco and Lucetta. Again, line of stern they go, trying to set themselves up, no doubt, strategizing away under the visor this time round, Corey.
Well, you'd have to imagine they would, Alex, because they're very quickly running out of time here as they come through the final corner for the 3rd to last time. Only going to have 2 laps left to run when they get to the start-finish line. So it's going to be a question of not if, but when they're going to start laying those chips out on the table. Looks like Geedy trying to just stay in the draft right now. Pulls out to the right side of the track. He's going to try and go for a move before they get into turn 1. Pinching almost into the wall was Ross. Blanco also trying to go for a move. They made it 3 wide going into the corner. Blanco going from 3rd to 1st, and now see if Geedy can hold on to that 2nd position or whether he's going to have to lose it. He's going to be on the outside here for turn 3, which is going to be a big disadvantage. It'll also all depend on where Blanco goes, because that is who will receive the draft. Looks like he's going to try and stay central on the track. Goes to the inside to block now. That allows Geedy to his outside, and Geedy on the outside of turn 4 takes the lead there, Alex, taking a little bit of track liberties while he was at it.
Just drives around him there. And I tell you what, it's interesting, 3rd to 1st of the first corner is one thing, right? But the lines, the finish line's not at the first corner, right? These guys will be jockeying for 1st and 2nd, because if you get, it's all about the drive out of the final corner. First or 2nd is going to win this race, because there's not enough time for 3rd to draft past. So that's where the action's going to be. These guys trying to position themselves in this last lap and a half. As we saw there, the jostling took place into turn 4. Meanwhile, in the second pack now, we've got the guys trying to do the same thing. These guys aren't going for the win, but they've got to maximise the results that they can get as they come around through this section for the penultimate time. What's going to happen out of this final corner? How are they going to set up, trying to get into first and second position in the closing stages of this one, Corey?
Honestly, Alex, I think if they're going to do it, they're going to have to get at least third in line here going up the pit straight. But then they're going to have to make that move for second going down the first straightaway. And that's going to be no easy task, especially considering the company that they're in here. Manu is probably in a great position to try and take the third here, although in saying that, they've just gone 3 wide in front of him. The two black cars getting around Giddy, and it looks like Blanco once again taking the lead of the race, and Giddy sitting there in third now, although Ross getting a little bit unsettled there on the exit of the second corner, just going over into the grass a little bit. That's allowed Giddy up his outside and almost contact. It amazes me how close these drivers are getting, especially with some netcode issues that we hadn't seen.
Beautiful positioning there for Lucetta, for Guidi, sorry, because you want to be, if it's me, I want to be on the outside of turn 4 if I'm fighting, because look at this, he's setting himself up for 6, he's setting him up for 7 and 8, he comes up the inside, he makes a gap, and watch Lucetta, he'll come up the inside of 6 here, he might get 2 for 1 here, the two black cars, depending on if is Ross going to cut across? No, he's not there in time. And you're going to see into 8. You're going to see the two Movano cars come out 1, 2. No. Blanco it is, I beg your pardon. Blanco's got the prime position in P2, and it's left Lucetta fighting for P3 at the moment with Ross, as we see Guidi leading him out. Now the question is, it now comes all down to this, down to turn 13. What sort of run they get, what sort of liberties they're going to take with the track limits here. How much of that blue outside are they going to take? Not too much, I have to say, although it's Ross taking the most liberty there. As we see the exit here, the money's got to be on Blanco at this stage. They've got a quite equivalent drive coming out of there, and it's going to be Guidi trying to do everything he can to hug the inside wall there. And oh no, he's sprung to the outside. He's broken the draft early, but these cars still have side draft. Oh, there's contact.
Oh, contact.
Contact. Blanco's going to take this one out from Guidi as he tried to squeeze him and didn't get it done. And it's the two black cars of Blanco and Ross ahead of the two Movano races of Lucetta and Guidi, with O'Fray managing to win out that second pack. That's look at them all clumped here through turn 1 at the finish. You can throw a handkerchief over the lot of them, and that's pretty much how the whole race went, Corey.
Yeah, and that was a crazy race start to finish there. My apologies for the background noise there. Oh.
That's all right, mate. We all have it from time to time. Just trying to pick up our stragglers here. Kawabe's son, he was all the way down in 17th. Looks like he had a run through the pits briefly. Cantor, similarly, we didn't see much of Enzo tonight. He's making his way through the final stages now, down in 18th. And Tellini, similarly, a couple of Italian drivers going to be finishing this one out towards the tail end of the field. And Tellini all the way down the tail end, unfortunately. But I tell you what, plenty of action in this one, mate, end to end, as our couple of stragglers come to the line before we can look at the results, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And it was just incredible racing all throughout. I mean, you could pick and choose any battle. There was action all throughout the pack, especially when the pack started closing up together and we got more drivers involved in the battling. It made it for an absolute awesome spectacle to watch. And I can only imagine that it's going to get better as the weeks go on, because we're visiting some interesting tracks coming up. And a lot of them require similar kinds of racing etiquette to what we would see here at Interlagos.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Well, let's now that everyone's finished, let's go check out our results for round 6 of season 22 of Sunday Night Lights. Daniel Blanco, the privateer from Iberia, taking out a stunning victory, his first here on a Sunday night. Congratulations to Blanco there. Xavi Ross from Ori's racing team, and I never know if I pronounced that right, just quietly, and the Iberian driver finishing second, and Iberian 1-2 tonight. The Italian Movano Sim Racer Manu Lucchetta, last season's champion, of course, he's in third. Ludwig Guidi, who did sport a newly minted Movano racing team livery, he's in fourth here tonight. Giuliano Fay for Red Face Racing, he's back in the top five. Adam Miles for his Sunday Night Lights debut, finishing in sixth. Alexis Vico, he drove hard tonight for a cross competition. The Iberian driver, grabbing seventh. Naoya Nagai-san from Japan, after sticking on pole once again and leading the race at times. He's finished down in eighth. When will that man get some luck? Russell Clark, the team boss man for Team Milo, he's ran a pretty smart race there at the back of that secondary pack, back of the front pack for a while there. He's managed to move himself up, 5 positions into P9 tonight. That's probably his best finish of the season, so congratulations to Russell. Håkon Grebstad for Speedy Snails, lost the rivalry there between Team Milo and Speedy Snails. They're finishing in 10th tonight. Jack Atkinson on his SNL debut, finishing in 11th for the UK and I driver. Danielle Forgherini from Italy, finishing in 12th and rounding out the Sunday Night Lights points for this week. 13th tonight was Donald Sabanal. I hope I get it right, mate. For ANZ, the Kiwi driver in 13th. Samuel Collins, who I don't remember calling Samuel all night, the ANZ driver, in 14th tonight. Daniele Camareri, the Italian driver who played his part in the early stages of this race, unfortunately finishing down in 15th. Loris Amadio, who qualified really well in his debut, unfortunately finishing 16th, the Italian driver. Kawabe-san, Gael Kawabe, down in 17th this week and out of the points. Enzo Cantor, similarly, the third Movano Sim race. First time we've been able to say three Movano Sim races. Unfortunately, though, for Enzo, he's down in 18th tonight, Corey, and that's how they finish, mate.
Yeah, I can't believe we haven't called Samuel Collins all race. It feels like we called out just about everyone as we are going through the paces there with everyone grouping up and everything. But good on Russell for beating out Hackon in the old rivalry that they've had going on for what feels like years, Alex. It's an incredible little battle that they always have going on between the two teams. But good on Blanco for getting his first SNL win. It was a well-deserved win, and he drove a cool, calm, collected, although sometimes chaotic race, and that's just the way we like it around here.
Oh, mate, I got to tell you, we've had some of the best races we've ever had in our MNL/SNL history here at Interlagos. I remember 5 wide, I think it was, into turn one a few seasons ago. And I think one of the guys in our chat, Simonson, might have taken that one out, as well as one of our most recent seasons gone by. I think we might have even been on RRTV at the time. So fond memories from Interlagos, and this week was no different. But waiting in the green room tonight, we have the Speedy Snails driver of Mr. Håkon Grebstad. Håkon, mate, there was some action going on out there tonight, mate.
Oh, yeah. Tell me how it looked from your point of view.
Oh, mate, apart from trying to get rid of the fog with some HDR filtering going on and getting some rubbish pictures and glare and stuff, other than that, mate, the drivers put on a great show, mate. How was it out there for you?
Oh, yeah, it was hilarious. One of the most fun races I've been in, I think. Sadly, I got quite a few bumps and bruises, and my car wasn't capable of doing any sort of speed, so I wasn't able to beat out Russell, sadly. He says hi, by the way. But yeah, man, what a race. That was great fun.
Yeah, mate, it looked like fun because, I've said this a few times here tonight, the track and each lap can tell a story, but the race as a whole, you had a big bunch at the front that was then separated, then came back together through the shenanigans and racing that took place.
How often do you see that?
Yeah, I know. No, you're right, mate. And then it was the same thing, though, and that's exciting out there on track as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. I was like, oh, we're never catching those boys again. And then I stuck to Julian Frey. Me and he got through that 3-car pileup. I think it was lap 2, pretty clean. I sadly got a few bumps, which caused my car to be pretty slow. So, yeah. But, yeah, I hung on to him as long as I could. And, yeah, we caught back up, and it's great.
Yeah, man, it was good fun out there by the looks, and hopefully, that's the kind of racing that brings people back. The high strength of fields, the good quality racing. You get a bump and a bruise here every now and then, but that just shows, everyone's out there trying their hardest to do their best and put on a good show. So, congrats on the finish here tonight, mate. I think where'd you finish? Down in 10th, but sounds like you had a good time. A top 10 finish even, and it's still a good time.
I won this race, mate. It feels like it. It's great fun.
Yeah, that's it, mate. All right, mate. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Just a little apology to Kawabe for that touch through. I'm not sure what corner it is. It's like 10, 11, something. Yeah, just I didn't expect him to break out in front of me. It was a slight little netcode touch there. Other than that, it was great, and you guys for putting this on every week because this is the best skippy race out there for sure.
Beautiful. Thanks, Hawkon. Great to see you out there. Yeah, Kawabe-san, we wondered what sent the rear around. We missed it, but, great to see the apology there, mate, and I'm sure he'll appreciate it. But until next time, mate, thanks for joining us, and we'll chat to you in the coming weeks.
Yeah, see you guys.
Yeah, Corey Hawkon Grebstad, the mystery solved about Kawabe-san as we watched the 14 car there of Daniel Forgiarini. He looked to lose it all on his own in the middle there. A little bit of contact with the 9 car of our eventual winner. How's that? The 9 car. Look how far deep he's buried in that pack. The 9 car who wins it, and this is what, a lap 2 or something in this replay. That's the bloke that won it.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he was fighting for tooth and nail in that second pack. He got to the front of it, and I reckon between him and Alfred, that's what really brought that second pack back into it, as well as the front pack that was battling hard. And Blanco really showed such a mature drive in the way that he orchestrated getting his way up to the front. And then the way that he battled out in that front pack was incredible, taking it 3 wide where no sane human would. I almost think that he's a robot at this point with how skilled he was with his driving around. But as far as Hawkon's concerned, a P10 is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, it's still in the SNL points, which is great for Hawkon. And, he had a ton of fun. You could hear it in his voice. And that's always what we strive for with this series.
That's exactly what we strive for, mate, and glad to see it. I'm still looking at these pictures here. He's got to be 10 deep. I mean, I think Russell, who's in the background there in the Team Milo livery, he was about 12th at this stage. So I'm betting Blanco's 11th is my money at that point, and he goes on to win it. That's the story that a Skippy race can tell. Now, we do have someone else in the green room ready to go, Mr. Julian O'Fray for Redface Racing. Our top 5 finish here tonight, Julian. Congratulations. I tell you what, that was a very intense race, a lot of action. Hopefully, you enjoyed yourself out there.
Thank you. Yes. This race was not really good for points, but it was really, really fun. I want to apologize. Let me remember his name. The Japanese driver, Naoya Nagai. I rear-ended him with a ghost contact in first, and I don't like this. I want to apologize. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Julian. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Both Japanese drivers tonight suffered a similar sort of luck, and it's part of racing. The ghost contacts and the close racing here tonight. I'm surprised we didn't see more of it, but I'm sure Nagai-san would appreciate that. And I just love seeing all the great drivers out there, mate, and hopefully we keep seeing them come back. But great to see yourself back. I saw Sasha Gourlay active on iRacing around this time. I was hoping your teammate had come and join us, and we'd see a Movano and a Redface Racing and the old guys coming back together.
I think Sasha is on Mivano team now. I think.
Oh, he's in Movano, is he?
So,
yeah, right.
So if he come, there is more Mivano on track and less Redface racing.
Yeah, right. There you go. So we'd see. Oh, that'd be something, wouldn't it? 4 Movano races out there. But yeah, no, that's all good, mate. Well, congratulations on the top 5 finish. It's great to see you back here on a Sunday night, mate. And hopefully we can see you again soon. But before we let you go, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, mate?
Usually, I want to say thank you for your great job, and see you next week.
Beautiful. Thank you, Julian. Thanks for joining us in here again, mate. We really do appreciate it. We know English is not your first language, but you do a fantastic job, mate. So we really appreciate it. And all the best for the races in the weeks to come.
Thank you. Bye. See you next week.
Yeah, Corey, Julian O'Fray, fantastic to see him out there again. And I forgot, he might have mentioned to me a couple of weeks ago that it wasn't that Gourlay had joined Movano, but I think he's racing the LMP cars and all the rest of it. So we won't see it. But tell you what, great to see Julian out there nonetheless, eh?
Well, that's exactly right, Alex. And it's always a joy to see some of these guys that we haven't seen for 2 or 3 seasons come back and still be super competitive. I mean, Alfred was at the front for the majority of the race, and he managed to snag a 5th place. I know last week he didn't have very much luck at all, but to bounce back from that and to prove that he still has the skill to hang out the front and do really well. It's really good to see, and hopefully we can get some of the other guys back, like the Sasha Gourlays and the Jose Sawyers, because that would be really awesome to see. Some of the old guard returning and showing some of these younger drivers just where it's at.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And I'm just trying to match the request. Oh, see the contact up in front there going on ahead of these guys. And that was the difference in the race. That was where the race was won and lost. And Guidi was relegated to 4th with his Movano teammate coming in, tucked in behind there, getting the draft and the run. That contact between Blanco and Guidi, the difference between P1 and P4 here tonight. Anyway, quite a run here, quite an exciting race. And look, I love coming here for the racing that it puts on. It's always fun, and there's always plenty of action, and tonight was no different, mate. Corey, tell the folks at home what you got coming up this week.
Well, beginning Tuesday, I have a very busy week ahead of me. We got all of Daytona week in the oval racing, the A, B, C, and D class cars. So I'll be getting in on some of that. And also, of course, Skippy's going to the hallowed grounds of the Bathurst Mount Panorama circuit. And I've got to do me some of that, Alex, and it's going to be a sweet ride. Also, Thursday will be the return of the Output Racing League to the return of the Aussie Sim Commentator channel. Uh, so it's not going to be a live broadcast. It's going to be probably pre-recorded because I'm going to be a little bit busy when the actual race is on. But that won't take away from any of the action that we'll see on track there, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're just catching some of the finish of one Jack Atkinson. It's tough around here with the way the track's laid out and the pit entry, but that's something else. But anyway, happy to please the crowd on that one, and I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often, if I'm honest. But anyway, that's the way she goes. All right, folks. Of course, everything Top Split is on your screen at the moment. Join us in the Discord is where we do the broadcast and the interviews from. The Top Split YouTube is where you see this and all other broadcast replays. Please join us on Twitch here each and every week. Please hit like, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff. It really does help us raise the profile of this fantastic series that we love bringing to the community because, as we always say, it's for the community, by the community. And on that note, folks, thank you for joining us both on track and off. And until next week, on behalf of the chaotic one himself, Corey Steinhauser, I'm Alex McKellar. And until next time, ciao for now.